Right. Okay, we're getting ready now. All right, all right, all right. Okay, so guys, please, if you are in any graphic design platform, kindly share this link in the platform and let people know what we're doing today so they can also be blessed and learn from what I'm going to be teaching out today. Okay. Yeah. So we are live now. Hope everyone is ready. Okay. I need to turn on my camera so you guys can see my face. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I hope. Okay, sorry, I need to switch my screen so you guys can see me. Okay. I hope I'm live now and I hope you guys are ready for today's meeting. So, for those of you joining us for the first time, we do this meeting every Friday, but we don't do it on YouTube. Okay, we have a Telegram platform for designers. So we do this training every Friday. So if you want to be part of this training every Friday, the Telegram link will be in the description section after this training. So you can just make use of it and join the platform. Okay. All right. So this is how we do it. I always ask designers to send in their designs to me to review. And I look at what is not working in the design and share how the designer can improve on his or her design. And also, I use the opportunity to share free design tips for designers to know what to watch out for whenever they are working on design projects. Okay, so today I have designs that I received during the week. Actually, I received so many designs, but because I don't want this live training to take forever, I decided to pick two of the designs. And don't worry, guys, the two designs I picked are designs I'm sure that by the time I'm done with what is not working in the design and how the designer can improve in is our next project. I'm sure you guys are going to pick something that will help you with knowing how to achieve successful designs. Okay, good. All right, so we're starting now, and I can see people signing in, and I want to welcome those of you who are just joining us. I'm glad you made it to this live meeting. Okay. So without any further ado, let's just go straight to today's meeting. But before I get to the reviewing of the design, I want to quickly share this with you guys. You see, graphic design is not as hard as the way people think it is. And the reason why I say it's not hard the way people think it is because if you understand what you are asked to do, if you understand what makes you a designer, you are going to find out that achieving design is not as hard as the way people think it is. And for those of you that don't know, we are visual communicators. And that's why whenever you're asked to work on any design project, what you're doing is to create a project that speaks to the right audience. You put together the element to create a picture that speak the language that the audience understand. So when you are putting together the element, you don't put the element together because, okay, you just want the page to be full. I know that is one area that so many designers still don't understand. You don't work on design project because you want your page to be full. No, You work on design project because you want to help make the viewers quickly understand the problem, all right, and and understand the message in the project. And that's why the use of elements that are not really necessary in your project can affect the success of your design. So for those of you who don't understand, okay, how to put together the elements, what I mean, the what to put together to pass the right message. What you're supposed to put together to pass the message to the audience is the elements of design, and that's why every element of design have what they do. They all have their own meaning. I'm sure so many of you have heard of the elements of design. I'm talking of typography, images, lines, shapes, colors, and so on. So every of this, all these elements have what they do in graphic design. So you need to go learn and understand the meaning of each of these elements so you know when to use the right elements in your project. It's like the way a mechanic, all right, a mechanic use the right tool to unscrew part of the engine. You will never see a mechanic use hammer to unscrew a nut, like a mechanic using hammer to hit a nut for it to loose. No, it's either they get a spanner or they get a plier to unscrew the bolt and nut. All right, so that's how the element of design is. So you need to know the right element to use to make the design part to create a picture that speak the language that the audience understand. And the principles of design is very important. So the principle of design is what we as designers use to shape the project. The element of design is what speak the language. The principle of design is what we use to shape the project. This is where we help the the projects look interesting to the eye. All right. The principle of design is what we use to make the project look interesting to the eye. And every principle of design have what they do in your project. Now, you don't need to use all the principles of design in your project. All right. But the most important principles that you must not joke with are: number one, the focal point, which is the goal, the focus, what you want people to see first in the project. Then number two is the contrast. Contrast is very, very important. The lack of using contrast in your project can destroy the project. You're not using contrast the right way can make the project look sick. So when you work on any design project without contrast, you are going to destroy the project. And then number two is proximity. Now the proximity is the grouping of the elements. Now I'm sharing the most important principles of design that you must not joke with in your project. So the proximity is the making your projects come in their separate, putting your project in their separate group. But there's this element of design that you must make available in the project that make proximity work. And that's element of design is called the white space. So giving room for white space in your project is what gives proximity the chance to exist in your project. The number four, I think, is the balance. All right, balance is very important. All right, balance is very, very, very important. Talking of making your elements be in their right position. All right, making sure that there's not too much flushing left and right in your project, like having different flush right center in your project. And then number five is perspective. All right, perspective is very important. All right, making like giving room for depth in your project, where you make your background serve as the background, and then you make what you have in your foreground serve as your foreground. And then number six, actually I can't really remember the number. All right, but I'm sure you guys are following. Okay, is hierarchy. Hierarchy is very, in fact, I should have called hierarchy, I should have made hierarchy the number three. Hierarchy is very, very important. All right, making your elements, arranging the content in your design in a sequential form, where you make what you want people to see first bigger, or you can also use color. It's not compulsory to use scale. There are times where what you want people to see first is the big thing in your project or the smallest thing in your project. All right, so hierarchy is also very important. But I'm going to stop here on this, and I'm going to go straight to the designs and share what it's good in the designs I receive and what is not really okay in those designs. And I have some adjustment I made on those designs so as to make you guys understand my point on the designs. Okay, so I'm going to switch to my other screen now, but I hope you guys are learning, and if you learn something from what I just shared with you now, please drop a message in the comment section, and I want to know if you guys are actually following what I'm teaching you guys today. All right, so I'm going to switch to my other screen, and let's see. I'm sure you guys are going to have fun today. You're going to have fun today, trust me. Okay, yeah. So good. So this is the first design I received. In fact, before I even start critiquing the design, I want to specially thank the designers that sent their designs for me to review, and I also want to appreciate my team who are always available to make this design review easy for me to do. So I appreciate every one of you. All right, so this design here is a poster for a brand, and I can see that the idea here is to show something that says Merry Christmas, and also to show the goal, the job of the products. All right, and this is a beautiful. I like I like the flow of the Christmas tree in the project. I like the way the designer did this, Christmas, tree move here, and I like the way we have enough room to see the information we have here, which is not bad. But my advice to this designer is this, and this is for every one of you. If you're a designer and you're watching me now, please start learning how to do photo manipulation. All right, photo manipulation is also part of how we surprise our audience as designers. All right, and that's for those of you that don't know what photo manipulation is. What this designer did here is also photo manipulation. All right, now, so this is it's a beautiful project, but there are some things that the designer did not really do well. And the first thing is the contrast. Contrast is very, very important in graphic design. I know the designer is trying to use one stone to kill two birds. And when I say one stone to kill two birds, I'm saying the way he made the light coming out from the fleet to form the Christmas tree, and also to show the killing of the insects inside the Christmas tree. And that is beautiful, but the contrast here is not really balanced. And before you work on any design project as designers, you need to first understand what exactly am I trying to do? What is the goal? What problem am I trying to solve here? So if I break down what this designer is trying to achieve here, I'll say is trying to wish the viewers a Merry Christmas, and also to promote the power of the brand. So I expect to see more of this elements that we have in here. So what I did to make you guys understand my point here is I tweaked the project a bit, and the first thing I did was to first give room for balance. So I removed the this information we have here and make it small. And the reason why I decided to do that is because in graphic design there's something called tension where balance is concerned. Placing something big on something small is how you create tension in graphic design. And if you can understand this part of tension in graphic design, I'm telling you, your design is going to look dynamic and interesting to the eye. So because this Christmas tree light here is big, all right, because this is big, all right, so I expect the designer to place something small under it to make it look like this heavyweight. Is it heavyweight? This load here is big for this small small element here to carry, and this made the project have that balance and the the tension part in the project. And for those of you that don't really understand the tension I'm talking about, think of I'm sure so many of you have seen a rope walker, those people that normally walk on rope. I'm sure you guys are always when you see them, when you see them walk on the rope, there's this feeling you have in you that make you feel like, oh, what's going to happen if this guy falls? So your attention is always on the person walking on the rope to see if he's going to walk or not, if he's going to fall, sorry, or not. And if you check it, you realize that the person is always balanced whenever he or she is on the rope. And that's the same principle that apply to how you place your elements in graphic design. So somebody need to write that down. Okay, good. So yeah, so that's the reason why I decided to make this small. And the contrast part is this. So I'll turn this off. And if I, excuse me, so if I make this visible now, you'll see that now we can now see the insets inside the light clearly. So what I did here is I boost the contrast of the insets so as to make the viewers find it easy to see fast. All right. And I also add more lights behind them to separate them from the background. All right. And that's where the part of the perspective comes in, which is depth. All right. So depth is very important. Depth and contrast, they work the same, way. So I decided to do that to make this inset more visible because, the insets are very, very important. And that's for that. So I boost the light. You already, mentioned that. And then the other thing the designer did not do, which I also did, is to create a vignette effect. And whenever you see vignette effect in graphic design, what you are doing or what the designer is trying to make you understand is to push your attention to the content where we have the light area in the frame. So always give room for this. Whenever you have information at the center of your frame, always allow room for vignettes. That's another way you create contrast in your project. So when you do this, the focus of your viewers will go straight to that area where you have that bright information in the project. So I need every one of you to take note of this. So I decided to do this to make you guys understand my point, and I hope you guys get my point on the contrast part. Okay, beautiful. Then I'll go straight to the next design. You see, I mentioned previously that contrast is very important in graphic design, and you're not using contrast the right way can affect the success of your design. And that's what I think this designer did here, making everything big in your project and nothing stand out is going to make the project boring. We're in a world where people want to be entertained, people want to see something new, they want to see something that will make them want to get involved. As designers, how we make them get involved is the way we place our elements in graphic design. Making your page dynamic is part of how you do this right. And see, guys, you can't do this right if you look at that screen in front of you like a flat surface looking at you. No, look at that frame for the project as a window into a three-dimensional world where big things are bigger and small. Big things that are bigger are things that are closer to you, and small elements are far from you. All right, so that's how you should see the frame whenever you're placing the element in your design. And trust me, guys, if you start working this way, you will see yourself enjoying design, and your clients will be proud to always, call you for any design project. So here we have too many contrasts. Everything is looking too big. And I want to share this secret with every one of you. All right. You see, when you're working on design project and you have images, like you have too many images in your project, avoid making those images have similar sizes. Now avoid making them share the same size. Excuse me. Avoid making them share the same size. And I'll tell you why. You see, images are attention grabber. No matter how small you place them in your project, they will surely draw attention. So when you now make everything share the same size, it's going to make the project look too heavy. All right, it's going to make it look too heavy. So avoid making image share the same size. But there are times where you can make them share the same size. But you only do this when the information in the project asks for it. But if the information in the project never asks for it, please don't do it. All right, please don't do it. It's not, professional. So too much contrast here. And this really made the project look too busy. And I can see some elements flying around. I can see this, chicken, this turkey image flying around. And yeah, this really made the project too heavy. And I appreciate this designer for sending the raw file for me to, work on this project. And yeah, so I'll show you guys the redesigned version, but I hope you get my point on, this on the part of making the project too heavy. Then another thing I want to share with you guys is whenever you notice you have images with too many activities on it, your job as a designer is to limit the way you play with the elements, because images, when you have images you're using in your project, all the information, details, content, activity going on in the image is also part of the project. So don't think because, okay, somebody give you an image to use and then you now notice, okay, because the image is just one, then you feel, okay, let me just do some drama in the project to make it look heavy. No. Those information in the image is very important. They are also part of the image, and they're also part of the project. So watch out for the way you play with other elements in the project. All right, so I think that's one of the thing that this designer missed in this project. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you guys the redesign version, and I'll show you my process. So this is the redesign version, and I'm going to quickly break down my process here. I explained to you guys that when you have images, you have images you're using in your project, making them share the same size is not going to help the project. So here you can see what I did in this project by playing with the size of the image, and perspective is also part of what I used to achieve this project, where I made a particular one of the image bigger and then the other image smaller behind it. And this is also part of how we achieve making our project look dynamic in graphic design. Making them have different sizes is also part of how create making your project look dynamic. And then the hierarchy part in this project is the bold title that we have here, which is the information that carry the high level of hierarchy in the project, because I mentioned that hierarchy is also part of the important information in your project. So I decided to make the title this bold so as to make the attention of the viewers quickly go to it, because I know images are their attention grabber. So the title needs to be big enough to draw the attention of the viewers before they start looking at the images. And I decided again to put this arrow, which is another thing you need to do, because whenever you're working on design project, your job is to help your viewers find it easy to to group the elements in your project. So one of the ways you can help your viewers group the elements in your project is the introducing of arrows. Now, it's not every time you need arrows in your project. There are times where you use space to make them know that, okay, these elements are together, which is proximity. But in a case where you notice everything is too close to each other, like the way we have it here, introducing arrow is part of how you can help making your viewers know, okay, this information around this arrow are grouped together, or they are one group. All right, so that's part of how you do that. And then the other thing I did here to really spice up the project is making the project balance. I've heard so many of you say, I know so many of you have heard of making your project balance, achieving a particular layout and like that. Yes, you're making your project balance comes in different ways. And there are the two most common, the two types of balance we have in graphic design, which is symmetry and asymmetrical balance. Your understanding of how to use the two is also part of what's going to help your making or achieving good design. But the particular type of balance that really make design project look attractive to the eye is the asymmetrical balance, which is what I use here. So the use of the asymmetrical balance is it gives you the opportunity to use different things to achieve layouts. You can use different type of shapes, like shapes to achieve a layout, like triangle, square. You can even use letters to achieve a design layout, which is what I use here. I know so many of you can see that letter, but I'm going to review the letter that I use to achieve this layout here. Okay, let me just quickly show you guys that letter. So the letter I use to achieve this layout here is letter S. All right, And I'm showing you guys this for you guys to know that, graphic design is about you having fun and playing. All right. There are so many ways you can achieve design projects. So you can also use letters to achieve a design layout. So behind this project here, there's a letter S. So if I draw this here like this, all right, I'm sure you guys can see that there's a letter S over there. And I also use the letter S on the in the background for just in case you guys notice that. But for those of you that didn't notice it, I'm sure you can see how I was able to achieve this layout, because I know some of you may be wondering, okay, so Caesar, why did you decided to change the angle of the image? So the reason why I changed the angle of the image is to help make my layout here balance. All right, beautiful. Okay, so this is the last design I'm going to review, and yeah, I think that's it. So any question, if you have questions you want to ask me, you can drop it in the chat box. I'm going to um, read the question and give you the answer that I believe is best for the question. Okay, so I think I have a question from Godwin. Godwin is saying, please, sir, what inspired the colors of the second design? All right, the second design. Good. So, what inspired this color is the color on the food. All right, the color in the on the food, and also the understanding of how to play with color in design. I'm a type of designer that whenever I'm working on design projects, I take the design wheel. I mean, I said design wheel, excuse me. I take the color wheel as my best friend. So I go to the color wheel to see colors that are, that work together. All right. So I always use the color harmony to do this. But I'm not going to go to the color harmony now. I'm just going to quickly share my point on how and what inspired this color here. So I know orange and blue are colors that go together. We have too many warm color in the project. And in graphic design, one of the ways you can play with color the right way to give life to your project is when you combine warm and cool colors. So we already have too many warm colors in the project. All right. We have warm color here. This is another warm color, warm color, warm color, warm color, warm color. So I went to the color wheel to check the color that I know that goes well with orange. So I decided to introduce blue. And another reason why I decided to introduce the blue is because if you look at the cap of the bottle here, we have this blue, color on it. And see, guys, blue is not the only color you can use here. In fact, I would have even loved to use green, because green and orange with red are colors that go well with food. All right. So yeah, I would have even I can always use green for this. All right. Yeah, green can also work. But introducing cool colors when you have too many warm colors in your project is also part of how you give life to your project. And if you notice you have too many if you notice you have too many cool colors in your project, introduce warm colors. But you put the warm color on the important information, like information that you notice that is small and you want people to quickly see it. So you can use warm color to make people's attention quickly go to that particular information. Warm colors are colors that read fast. They are colors that people see very fast in graphic design. So you use them on information that you notice that is small and you want people to quickly see. And there are times when you don't even need to put you don't need to apply, mix one color with two colors in your project. There are times when you only need just one color, and what you just need to do is to make the one color come in. One color comes in different, make it come in different values. All right, make it when you're making it come in different value is part of how you achieve contrast with the use of the one color. Okay, but before you start playing with one color or combining one two colors with one color, understand the problem first. Know the goal you are asked to solve before you start combining colors. And I hope I'm able to answer Godwin's question. Godwin, if you're satisfied with my answer, please, I will appreciate if you can drop a message or give me a heart. Okay. Guys, please don't just watch this. Please, let's share this video. Let's share this link with other designers. Share this meeting with other people. Let them also be part of this design meeting. And if you have not subscribed, guys, hit the subscribe button, because I'm going to be doing more. I'm going to be posting more design trainings for you guys to watch. So in order for you not to miss it, I would advise you hit the subscribe button, so you can always get a message when I hit the airwave. All right. So yeah, let's see if we have other question. Okay, so I think okay, so Boaz Odero is saying, please repeat the names of the types of layouts you've mentioned. So I said we have two type of it should be balanced, not layouts. All right, it should be balanced. So I said symmetry and asymmetrical asymmetry balance. All right, yeah, those are the two type of balance that we have. Then I explained the asymmetrical balance. All right, I explained the different style of layout that comes from that particular layout. But the symmetrical balance is the normal one that so many of you are used to. Sorry, my camera is off. I need to turn it on. Sorry about that.